Welcome to the students of third semester MA Economics. This semester I am going to handle agriculture marketing and finance. This is an optional paper, paper 5. We have 4 modules as usual. First module deals with agriculture marketing in India, agriculture marketing institutions and services. In that module, marketable surplus, marketed surplus, role and significance of agriculture marketing, types of agriculture markets, structure of agriculture marketing and marketing efficiency, and cooperative marketing in India. These are all topics covered in module 1. And module 2 deals with agriculture prices and pricing policy. In this module, behavior of agriculture prices and agriculture pricing policy in India, Commission on Agriculture Costs and Prices Review, and Module 3 covers credit needs of the farmers and demand for credit. In this module, working capital and fixed capital, factors affecting demand, institutional and non-institutional rates in rural money market, and Module 4 covers agriculture finance. In this module, organized and unorganized capital markets, sources of agriculture credit, non-institutional and institutional sources like cooperatives, commercial banks, RRBs, NABARD, SHGs, and all these topics covered under agriculture finance, module 4. First 2 modules focused on agriculture marketing, and the last 2 modules focused on agricultural finance. Well, students, we have 3 sectors in our economy: primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Tertiary sector, which is also known as service sector. Primary sector includes agriculture and its allied activities. Allied activities like fisheries, dairy, poultries, forestry, or livestock comes under allied activities, and mining also included under primary sector. And secondary sector includes all manufacturing units, large scale, heavy, basic, key industries, medium and small scale industries comes under secondary sector. And last one, service sector, which is also known as tertiary sector, which includes banking, finance, insurance, education, health comes under service sector. Here, agricultural marketing, our subject, comes under primary sector. And today, I would like to give a brief introduction on agricultural marketing. I'll present PPT now. Here these are 4 modules and our learning objectives. There are 3 sectors: primary, secondary and tertiary sector.
Agricultural marketing. First of all, we should know the meaning of marketing. Here, the term marketing means selling of goods and services. Agriculture marketing implies selling of goods and services by the farmers. It includes various functions like assembling, storage, transportation, buying, selling, grading, processing, sales promotion, etc. These are various steps of agriculture marketing. Well, we have two markets, input market and output market. Here, input market means various inputs from manufacturing units to the agricultural farms or fields. Output market deals with various activities of the crops and livestock products in their marketing channels. So basically input market and output market focused on inputs as well as output. There are various definitions defined by agricultural economists and commissions. So first definition, National Commission on Agriculture in its 13th report observed that agricultural marketing involves all aspects of agricultural market structure and system, that is both functional and institutional aspects based on technical and economic considerations and include post-harvest operations, assembling, storage, transportation and distribution, etc. So basically this definition focused on steps of agriculture marketing. Next definition given by Acharya and Agrawal. According to Acharya and Agrawal, agriculture marketing is the study of all activities, agencies and policies involved in the procurement of farm inputs by the farmers and the movement of agriculture products from farmers to the consumers. Richard Coles, another economist, he quoted that agricultural marketing is the performance of all business activities involved in the flow of goods and services from the point of initial agriculture production until they are in the hands of ultimate consumer. So all these definitions focused on only one aspect, that is marketing provides a close link between farm and non-farm sectors. So marketing is the economic process where goods and services are exchanged between producers and the consumers, and their values are determined in terms of money prices.
Well, students, here producer surplus. Producer surplus means it is the quantity of produce which is actually made available to the non-farm population of the country other than agriculture sector. Those who are engaged in other sectors, either industrial sector or service sector, comes under non-farm population of the country. So here, producer surplus can be classified into two types: marketable surplus and marketed surplus, right? Marketable surplus means it is the actual quantity of a commodity that is available with the farmers after meeting all their requirements. Here, the portion of the produce after excluding the non-farm requirements available to a farmer to sell. Here requirements, other requirements means food consumption of the farmers, payment for labor, rent for landlords, seeds, etc. All these comes under other requirements. So marketable surplus here, total production minus other requirements. Let us focus on marketable surplus with one example for better understanding. Farmer produces 1,000 quintals. Okay, and other requirements, say 100 quintals. What will be the marketable surplus here? 900 quintals is the marketable surplus. After consuming all, after requirements. Then marketed surplus. It is the quantity of a commodity which a farmer actually sells in the market. Actual amount of produce sold by the farmer in the market. It is basically time perspective. The principal difference between marketable surplus and marketed surplus is time perspective. Marketable surplus is available for marketing. Marketed surplus is actually being marketed at the time of sale. So marketable surplus is produce that a farmer currently has on hand to take the market to earn a profit. Marketed surplus is what he has actually taken to market to earn a profit. Before taking to a market is marketable surplus. After taken to a market, already being marketed is called marketed surplus. Here factors influencing marketable surplus. First factor is size of holding or size of farm. It is an important factor influencing the level of marketable surplus. Generally, the bulk of agriculture surplus or agriculture production is being supplied by the medium and big farms. Small farms are generally subsistence farms, hardly have a surplus of output for sale after meeting all their requirements. According to Dharam Narayan's study, the marketable surplus as a proportion of value of produce decline up to 10 to 15 acres size group and steadily increased after 10 to 15 acres. Thus here there is a strong positive relation between the size of the farm and the level of marketable surplus. Means the larger the size of the farm, the larger will be the marketable surplus, and lower the size of the farm, lesser will be the marketable surplus. So there is a positive relation between or direct relation between the size of the farm and the marketable surplus. And second important point, level of production or level of output. Here marketable surplus is the function of level of output. A sustained rise in the level of output depends upon the improvement in the level of production. Higher productivity means productivity per head or production per head. Higher productivity results in higher production. Example, let us take one example. Intensity of cropping. Intensity of cropping is an important determinant of marketable surplus. Higher intensity refers to more area has been shown more than once. Lower intensity means lesser area has been shown more than once. So higher intensity of cropping leads to higher production. Higher production which in turn leads to large margin of marketable surplus. And third important point, that is family consumption requirements. Higher consumption requirements for family members reduce the marketable surplus. Here what is the relation? Negative relation between family consumption requirements and marketable surplus. So higher consumption leads to lower marketable surplus. Price of products. Prices of products. Here there is a positive or direct relation between prices and marketable surplus. Higher prices will always encourage the farmers to produce more and sell more. And lower prices generally discourage the farmers to produce and sell less. So here also direct relation between prices of products and marketable surplus. Higher products leads to higher marketable surplus, lower prices leads to lower marketable surplus. Other requirements. The requirements of products for seed purpose, requirements like seed purpose, payment for social and religious obligations, kind payments, example, wages for labor, rent for landlord. These are all requirements influences the marketable surplus. Higher the requirement, lower will be the marketable surplus. Here also inverse relation between all other requirements and marketable surplus. And coming down to nature of crops. The nature of crops generally two categories, food grains or non-food grains. So nature of crops grown also contributes in determining marketable surplus. The level of marketable surplus of food grains would be lower than that of non-food grains. Why? Because food grains consumed by the farmers, while non-food grains are not consumed by the farmers. So marketable surplus also depends upon the nature of crops. Unhealthy market conditions. Unhealthy market conditions also affects the market arrivals, like lack of storage facilities, lack of transport system, unorganized market conditions, large number of intermediaries may also affect adversely the market surpluses. So unhealthy market conditions also affects marketable surplus. So these are all factors determining marketable surplus. Here, measurement of marketed surplus. This is another important concept. Marketed surplus. Various attempts have been made by various agricultural economists to measure marketed surplus in India. So here agricultural economists like Dharam Narayan, Patnaik, Ashok Gulati, these economists focused on measurement of marketed surplus. So Dharam Narayan estimates of 1950-51 and Patnaik estimates 1960-61 and Ashok Gulati estimated in 1971-72. So here we have taken four size of holding. Dharam Narayan estimates in 1950-51, Patnaik estimates 1960-61, Gulati estimates 1970-71. We have taken three categories of percentages, that is marketed surplus as percentage of total output. So holding size here 0 to 5, 5 to 10 acres, 10 to 15 acres, 15 to 20 acres, 20 to 25 acres and 25 to 30 acres and 35 acres and above. In all these three studies, if you focused on all these three studies, the ratio of marketed surplus rising with rise in size of holdings 0 to 5 to 35 and above. And here it was quite high for the richest cultivator in this table, that is cultivators 78% in 1971. This shows that the economic dominance of the rich farmers here closely visible. So Dharam Narayan estimates of 1950-51 follows a U-shaped pattern of marketed surplus with respect to size of holding. See, once the surplus ratio is high with small holdings initially, 0 to 5 acres 34%, and gradually decreases to 27% and 23% as size of holdings increases 5 to 15 acres. After 15 acres and above 35 acres, it gradually increased from 23% to 47%. I'll explain once again. Here, if you focused on Dharam Narayan's estimates in 1950-51, it follows U-shaped pattern of marketed surplus with respect to size of holdings. Here, size of holdings 0 to 5 acres, just here 34% of marketed surplus. It is high marketable surplus, means the surplus ratio is very high with small size of holdings. Suppose here holdings increases, gradually marketed surplus decreases from 34 to 27 and 23%. More than 15 acres to 35 and above, gradually marketed surplus increases from 23% to 47%. So it follows U-shaped pattern. And next, if you focused on Patnaik estimates and Gulati estimates, Ashok Gulati estimates, there is no U-shaped pattern here. Right? There is no U-shaped pattern of marketed surplus, because with larger the size, marketable surplus also increases. Here, as holdings increases, marketed surplus also continuously increases. Patnaik estimates, if you focused on Patnaik estimates, here holdings increases 0 to 5, 5 to 10 acres, 10 to 15 acres and more. Patnaik estimates 1960-61, marketed surplus also increases from 23% to 58%. If you focused on Ashok Gulati estimates 1971-72, here also as size of holdings increases, automatically here marketed surplus also increases. So there is no U-shaped pattern. There is no U-shaped pattern of marketed surplus. All these studies lead to one big conclusion, right? What is that conclusion? Either U-shaped or not follows U-shaped, but here only one big conclusion, that the ratio of marketed surplus to total output is very poor. Okay. Well, students, today we have already discussed about introduction of agriculture marketing, marketable surplus and marketed surplus. Well, marketing is the economic process where goods and services are exchanged between producers and the consumers, and their values are determined in terms of money or money prices. According to various agricultural economists' opinion, marketing provides a close link between farm and non-farm sectors. Here, there are two important concepts in producer surplus, that is marketable surplus and marketed surplus. Marketable surplus is the produce that a farmer currently has on hand to take to earn a profit. That is nothing but the surplus left with the producer or farmer after meeting his requirements for family consumption, payments for labor or rent for landlord, seats, purpose, or other social and religious obligations. Marketed surplus means here actually being marketed is marketed surplus. The factors determining marketable surplus are size of farm holding, level of output, family requirements, other requirements, prices of the product, and unhealthy market conditions. And measurements of marketed surplus. We have already discussed about various agricultural economists' opinion, that is Dharam Narayan's estimates, Patnaik estimates, and Ashok Gulati estimates. Based on the estimates of all these three economists, the ratio of marketed surplus had been rising with a rise in agricultural holdings. Except Dharam Narayan's estimates, remaining two estimates based on two estimates, marketed surplus had been rising with rise in agricultural holdings, and these two estimates does not follow U-shaped pattern, but Dharam Narayan's estimate follows U-shaped pattern of marketed surplus because the surplus ratio is high with small holdings. It declines over the holding groups, and after that it steadily increased. So, dear students, here I have attached assignment. Explain marketable surplus and marketed surplus. So you have to submit within a week. Thank you. Thanking you. Safe at home and stay at home. Well, students, hope you understood the topic, agricultural marketing, introduction, and next session, I'll discuss role and significance of agriculture marketing. Okay, here in this slide, I gave differences to this topic. You go through all those differences if possible. Otherwise, I'll attach material to your mail. Thank you.